Good Saturday morning, and welcome to another exciting edition of Outdoors with Larry Ray on 790 The Bet. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited. Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray on AM 790 every Saturday morning from 9 to 10:30. And also good folks in Brownsville, 1520 AM, 95.3 FM from 6 to 7:30. And, of course, News Talk 101.5 FM in Jackson from 6:30 to 8. And this is probably the most unusual show that we've done in almost 25 years. Because by Monday morning, I didn't have a single guest for this week's show. I'd had four that just couldn't do it. So I just threw it open. You heard of open mic? This is open mic Saturday. And I said, well, I got to get somebody to help me. Well, who better to help me on this last Saturday in June of 2025 than Mr. Bill Cooksey? Not Mr., just Bill Cooksey.
Let's just stick with that, Larry.
Let's stick with that, Larry. I like that. Did you say fat Larry or stick with that, Larry? Okay.
Let's stick with it.
Let's stick with it. Everything's sticking right now to me, I can tell you that. We're not going to talk about heat. Yeah, we will. Yes, we will. Because I'm going to ask my fishing guru guy here, my hillbilly, bassin man himself. We now have determined that he is not only the second Saturday of each month, but he is now BB. Bonus Bill. We have David Bill in here. Good Saturday, David.
Good Saturday morning, Larry.
How
you doing, Cooksey?
I'm doing well, David. Good to have you on.
Yes, sir. Thank you all. But this show is really going to be entertaining. It's going to be informational. It's going to be a really good show that started out with a blank. And the first person I went to was Bill Cooksey because it's his time, really. But you never can tell. Bill is everywhere in the state of Tennessee in his capacity with the Tennessee Wildlife Federation. And then, of course, David Beal, you're surely not fishing right now.
No, I'm not fishing right now.
Okay. I knew he was smart, okay? But some of us are in for torture. I am on the golf course, and Bill Cooksey just told me that he's had an ill-fated day in a kayak.
I don't know if ill-fated is the right thing. Everybody else seemed to have a great time. But I thought, if I were in my War Eagle and we were on the hatch, if I were in my War Eagle, I could just fire up that engine and run for a little bit and cool off.
Cool off.
A big cooler in the boat.
Can't do that,
but
Bill.
I was in a kayak. So.
Well, so we wanted Bill. He's out of the kayak, I hope,
Yes,
now
sir.
on this Saturday morning. But we will talk a little bit about what's going on fishing-wise with David here. But I really want to jump into a subject here, guys, and we're all interested in it. And recently, the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency has halted the proposed 28% hike in hunting and fishing license fee for this year. And it created quite a reaction across the state, and I'm sure out of state. And I said, well, Bill Cooksey can address this as no one else can. So in his capacity, but also his knowledge of the workings of the TWRA, as I try to. But, Bill, how did that hit you?
Okay, let me give my quick elevator update so we can set the stage for this.
That's what I want, yes.
And I believe it was 2015 was the last time we had
That's
a
right.
major license increase.
That's right. Yeah.
And at the time, I was editor of the Hunting and Fishing News, so I did a deep dive, and I looked at their budget. And look, I don't want to pay more for my hunting license just like everybody else.
Right.
But I did a deep dive on it and looked at all the states around us and who had higher and lower prices and that sort of thing in TWRA's budget and realized they could not keep going at that point without increasing the license
That's right.
fees
Yeah.
or finding another way of funding the agency.
Yeah.
Some additional funding.
Yeah.
Other states that have a lower prices we can talk about this more later, but had sales tax devoted to the agency, or they have a coastline, which is a huge income for an agency. So they have other things offsetting those costs. In Tennessee, I knew and learned even better, all of their money comes from hunting and fishing licenses and Pittman Robertson and Dingle Johnson excise tax.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
And people who complain about having to buy a hunting and fishing combination license, that actually allows TWRA to get more from those taxes. That's the way they're multiplied, regardless. So this year, I mean, just like everyone else, it's been 11 years, almost 12 it's been 10 years, since the last big increase.
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing substantial in between. And I don't know about you, Larry, you, David, but in the Cooksey household, my costs have gone up a lot.
Oh, really?
That's right.
Over the last
I agree.
5 years.
That's right.
You
Yeah.
know, I mean, and TWRA isn't immune from that. And at the same time, TWRA has some other issues that, like the governor's mandate of pay raises for state employees, which is great for those state employees. We're all for it, but that has to come from those same license fees. You know, there are things people don't even think about that make it harder on the agency. So when this was proposed back in December, the commission had their meeting. We supported it with the understanding we'd all get to work this coming year to try to find dedicated funding for the future, because it's not real sustainable to just keep increasing license fees. It's starting to hurt.
Yes.
It hurts me every time I buy my sportsman's license. And
Right.
So we all get it. We supported it, but with a caveat. And this year, for the first time ever, and Richard Sims was a good guy to, when I talked to him about this, because he had worked TWRA for years.
That's right. Yes.
It had always been, once the legislature approved it during session, so the commission approves an increase, then the legislature approves the commission's increase, and then there's this final thing that happens in summer no one even thinks about, because it's normally a rubber stamp.
On June the 18th, this all fell down, June the 18th, so everybody's kind of in la-la land at that time. So
and no one's even thinking about it, because it's going to happen.
That's right.
And they got in there, and I think my understanding of the people in the meeting said, enough of those folks who were voting to pass or fail, became obvious during their discussions it was not going to pass.
Yeah.
And TWRA wisely withdrew it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now they're still left with this huge shortfall
Yes.
this year
financially.
I don't know how that's going to get filled. Hopefully the states can work with them. One of the things that I think was, I don't know about comforting, but at least gave some hope for the future, because this is an opportunity if we do it right. There were legislators who said, we're dedicated to helping you find dedicated funding for the future.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, and we can get sportsmen, and this is going to take sportsmen, hunters and fishermen, and outdoors people supporting this idea and helping the rest of the state understand this is a $1 billion+ revenue producer in the state of Tennessee, hunting and fishing.
Yes. Yeah.
So, Cooksey, what do you think would be a solution to the issue, though?
Well,
what do you think is a solution?
So here are some of them used around the country. Probably the most common is a small percentage of sales tax, like Missouri, and I think that's several other states.
Arkansas, doesn't Arkansas have that too, Bill? I mean,
Arkansas does, and I don't know their percentage. Missouri's is 1/8 of 1%.
I was thinking Arkansas was similar to that, but maybe not.
And there's several states doing that.
Yeah.
There are states that dedicate lottery funds to their agency.
Yeah.
There are other states that have a dedicated tax on outdoor gear. That's a little more difficult, because that puts so much onus on retailers, especially small retailers, to try to keep up with, that I kind of wonder about it, but it's a possibility as well. And one that's interesting, Montana is working right now on a marijuana tax that would go to outdoors.
Really?
So,
Yeah, that's definitely interesting.
I mean, I don't think we'll be heading there. But there are options.
Yeah.
When I hear marijuana, I think
what works in Tennessee's structure, whether it's within our tax structure or lottery structure or whatever. It's not a matter of raising taxes.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking. Missouri is the model at 1/8 of 1%.
It is.
And what they've been able to do with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we can get there. It's just going to take all of us pulling together. And once the rest of the state has some skin in the game, and that's what that would do, we can do anything in the outdoors space.
Yeah, I think that'd be definitely.
Well, I know that, and I'm going to interject this, because in the press release that was posted shortly after this, to cut costs, the TWRA has held more than 20 staff positions vacant, scaled back printing and distribution of publications, canceled extra funding for wildlife research, and delayed maintenance on access areas and infrastructure.
Yep.
And it still said they're committed to balancing the physical responsibility with the pursuit of new funding to protect and conserve Tennessee's fish and wildlife for future generations.
Correct.
Now, that's a lot of words, you know.
Yeah.
Well, but it's all accurate. And if I remember right, I hate to throw out numbers, but I think right now they're down 28 just on the game warden front.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
And that's a bunch, y'all.
That's a bunch. And people are retiring right and left because they got 30 and 40 years.
Yes.
You know, and I don't know what the school is for wildlife officers. I'm sure we got people in there right now, but it just came to me, and I know, Bill, you stay on top. Did this catch you? I mean, did this catch you guys like it did the general public, the way I understand it?
Yeah, absolutely. We did not see this coming. Probably, maybe we should have. I mean, we have folks working with the legislature every day during session.
Yeah.
This time of year, it tends to calm down, and unless someone makes a phone call, you know, you wouldn't think about it. So it kind of surprised us when it hit last week, and I mean, we were able to at least get on top of it quickly and understand what had gone on and put out our own press release and all, so we can get that conversation started. And that's the important part. Again, it's unfortunate, yet it's a great opportunity for the future. And that's, I think, where our mindset has to be. We all want our, you know, WMAs better, our agency better, our outdoors better. And that takes money. And
it takes structure, too, though, Bill. You have to – I mean, I know some of the West Tennessee folks who have resorts were upset with a new fee structure for the 3-day. They were upset with that, and they were going to war over that, and then all of a sudden
absolutely. And look, there again, we talked about that $1 billion-plus economy, and those folks are right in the heart of it. They see it directly, whereas a lot of that economy, they don't even really realize where the money's coming from. But I get it. When you're an outfitter or a hotel at Reelfoot, people are coming
That's
for 1 or 2 days.
That's where it is. Yeah.
You know, or Kentucky Lake or any of these places. So, you know, I get it. And frankly, here's the hard part. People within a state, and I've worked in a lot of different states.
All right, we got a couple of minutes. We got a couple of minutes. Let us go. Go.
Everyone thinks they have the worst agency and the worst license structure and all of that. And everyone hates out-of-state sportsmen. I mean, as far as if you hunt and fish within a state, you generally don't like people with tags from other places.
Yeah, that's right.
Coming into your spot.
Yeah,
that's
so
right.
you want them to pay more.
Yeah.
So amongst average sportsmen, that was probably a very popular thing to see out-of-state prices go up more than in-state.
Yeah.
But think about those folks, you know, in that economy, sporting economy, that's a huge hit. So I don't blame them a bit for
well, I think we've got some cooling down here. Same time, of course, TWRA is a sponsor of this show, and I know they had put all this effort into what they said was to generate $12 million in additional revenue.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, it's not. it's and a lot of promises that were made weren't able to be kept. So anyway, we're going to talk a lot about this, maybe a little bit more during the show. But appreciate Bill Cooksey's input always in his capacity, not only just as a sportsman, I think more from Bill as a longtime sportsman, editor, and all his jobs that he's had. But anyway, Bill, thank you, buddy.
Yes, sir.
David, you're not going. We're going to come back to you, but let's take a break right now and try to wrap this around your head, folks. Go to tnwildlife.org. Just Google all that, and you'll find so many different things, but wanted to get that out of the way. Now, let's talk positive now. So we're going to South Carolina. We're going to talk about a company that started in a garage, and now it's 50 yards away, not in the garage, but now Blackwater Tools is one of the biggest in the nation. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. And if you missed the first segment, shame on you. Go to LarryRay.com. I'm sure Shelby McCall, our show producer, probably already got all those posted, but Bill Cooksey did a great job giving us kind of an insight on the recent decision back on June the 18th to postpone the license fee increase for the state of Tennessee hunting and license fees. And I appreciate that, Bill. Thank you for that effort. And we'll be talking some more with that. And David Beal is sitting in with me also. Both you guys, this next guest has been a part of Outdoors with Larry Ray. Ever since Ron Wong joined us more than 15 years ago, and we're heading into our 25th year this year, and we all miss Ron. I know even David Beal is here as my fishing guru, but he is not replacing Ron Wong. Mm-hmm. No one can do that. And so David Baynard is on with us right now. He is the president of Black River Tools out of Manning, South Carolina. You may be more familiar with maybe Driftmaster or some of the many products that his company puts out. But before we do anything, David wants to say something about Ron Wong. Take it away, David.
Well, hello, everybody. Thanks for having me as your guest. It's an honor to be here. And I just want your listeners to know Ron Wong was a special friend of mine, and he was special to our company and our brand. And I've known him for probably 20 years. And every time I saw him, he was, always wanting to know how I could contribute to the knowledge of the outdoorsman and the things that we know. And if there's fish fries in heaven, I know who's doing the hush puppies. Let me say that.
That is for sure. Yeah.
I've had his legendary hush puppies, and they're everything they're billed to be. So anyway, my condolences to anybody that knew him, because if you knew him, you miss him, and I appreciate the opportunity to say that.
Thank you, David. And again, it's been a while since that dreaded day on that Monday, but we're all going to be in Springfield, Missouri, in August for the Legends of the Outdoors Hall of Fame induction ceremonies, and I'm going to be honored to be up on the stage with Gary Mason as we induct Ron Wong into that tight fraternity. Right, Bill Cooksey? I mean, that's
yes, sir, absolutely. And looking forward to it.
I know Bill went in with me, and he said nice things other than Billy Blakely went in talking about how good a fisherman my wife is. And I'm going to get back at Billy.
He's a smart man.
Thank you, David. I knew you'd say that because that's what Ron always said. But let's talk a little bit, David. I know you guys have got some new products in 2025, and we're going to try to stay more in touch with David because his company, anytime I ever needed a gift or whatever it was, a prize, here it came, straight out of Manning, South Carolina. So let's talk about what's going on in 2025 for Black River Tools.
Well, I got two things really that's new this year, and they're not opposite ends of the spectrum, but they're a little different. One thing is we've introduced in a UV reflective dip for our rod holders for the catfish market that's moving toward black light night fishing with UV reflective rods and lines and reels.
Wow.
We've done colors in the past. We've been making fishing rod holders since before people knew what fishing rod holders were. And we've tried blue and green and stuff in the past, but there is a movement towards these night fishing UV reflected things. And, I'm all about practicality. I didn't want to do it just because it was pretty, but somebody told me when you fish at night, the black lights don't attract bugs like other lights do. And I'm like, well, there you go. That's a good reason. Now I'll do it.
Yeah, let's don't have the bugs. Get rid of the bugs so you don't have to put it on your skin.
There's some other UV colors on the market. Like there's a couple of companies that make a lime green, and that's what I thought we were going with.
Yeah.
And I got some samples sent to me from our rubber company. I asked for a lime green sample of rubber, and they sent me a green and a yellow.
Yeah.
And I had no idea I'd even like yellow. I mean, yellow is nobody's favorite color, and but when we dipped rod holders in it, it just lit up. And all our employees or friends or people who came by the shop, we'd all ask them. We had a green one and a yellow one side by side, and everybody went yellow, and it lights up brighter under UV lights. It's like they're plugged in. It's amazing. So we tip them in black. They're yellow with black tips, and the black is intentional to kind of remind everybody our tradition of black rod holders that we've done for years.
Yeah.
And so we're really excited about that. It's going to be It's going to be marketed for the catfish guys that fish at night.
So is it out yet, or is it coming?
It's here.
It's here. Okay.
I added it to our website about a week ago, so people can go to driftmasterrodholders.com and there's a section on the front page where they can get some information about it and see it. I will say the pictures don't do it quite the justice that when you're standing in front of it.
Oh, yeah. What would your and David's is a family company, and I still think of his dad and what the teamwork there. What would your dad think about this thing?
I'll tell you exactly what he would think.
What? Tell me.
Daddy always told me, you don't create the wave, you ride it.
Oh, that's good. I like that. You don't create the wave, you ride it. You get that, Cooksey?
I'm going to have to use that.
I got it.
Write that down for me, Cooksey, because I won't remember it, but...
There's already a movement of people that like the neon. Actually, I did a trade show this year. What cut the lights on for me? I did a trade show, and my booth was right across the aisle from a rod company that was selling all these neon color rods. And I saw how many people it attracted, and it was younger customers too.
Really?
Our typical customer base is it's us. It's 50
right.
to 75-year-old man.
Yeah.
But, we got to get some young blood in the game or me and you ain't going to be able to retire. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean? Don't throw me in that, buddy. I'm already in there, man. I'm middle-aged for a 164-year-old man. I'm on borrowed time. Again, we're talking to David Baynard, president of Blackwater Tools, and, of course, Driftmaster. And what are those other brands you got, David?
We make Father Nature bird feeders, and we make a golf cart lock that prevents these expensive custom golf carts from being stolen. It locks the pedals.
Well, I know my wife and I are big into bird feeders, and I'm tired of chasing this squirrel off my bird feeder.
That's
and my wife is out there and get this, Cooksey, she is putting liquid down the pole, and it'll go up there and slide back down, David. But then after a while, she got to do this every day. She's out there putting this stuff on the pole. But,
you need a
bird feeder's a big business, David. You know it?
I know. I had this nice little old lady coming up to me at a...
Watch it now, little old lady. Watch it now, David. Watch it now.
She had to be 30.
Okay.
Anyway, She came up to me, and she didn't have one of our feeders, but she told me she put grease on her feeder pole to try and keep squirrels off of them.
Yeah.
She fussed at me because she said she had greasy squirrel prints all over her porch.
That's right.
They still made it up there essentially.
Yeah, well, I'm going to contact you, David, because I'm tired of my wife out there greasing down that pole out there, okay? I mean, we got to stop the squirrels. But again, David, so what else you got besides that new...
Well, our other new item is a rod holder we're calling the Trophy.
The Trophy?
It's designed to go into a tube gimbal holder that come on center console boats.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to mount anything. You slip it down in the tube holders that come on those boats.
Yeah.
And you can fish a downline. It started with a grouper friend, a guy that grouper fishes, a friend of mine in the Gulf.
Yeah.
And he called me, wanted a rod holder to go in there, and he said, I want it strong enough so my wife can leave the rod in the holder if we want to, because she can't handle some of these groupers. And but I can get the rod out of a holder, because you can't get the rod out of a tube holder if you got a big fish on it. It binds up and you can't get it out.
Yeah.
So anyway, I made him something, and it turned into something, and it's a really nice item. Basically those tube holders on center console boats, to me, I don't want to offend anybody. To me, they're about useless. I mean, you can't fish with your rod tip straight up in the air.
That's right. Yeah.
And like I said, if you get a fish, the only type fishing you can do with that is like trolling at about 10 miles an hour. Fast trolling.
That's right. Yeah.
And if you get a fish, you can't get it out of the holder. So anyway, this is got the quick, easy release of all of our holders. It's strong enough you could lift a truck with it. It's all stainless, so you don't have to worry about any rust forever. It's really a really cool item, and I hope it opens up a doorway for people that's paid so much. Those center console boats are so expensive.
Yeah.
And to not be able to buy one and go out and you can't fish unless you start drilling holes. I just think this is going to solve a lot of people's problems. And
that's what they're in the business. If you check out with whether it's Driftmaster or Black River Tools. What's that website again, David?
Driftmaster.com or driftmasterrodholders.com. Goes to the same site.
And its durability here, folks, you're not going to find much plastic, right, David? I mean,
plastic makes a real good toothbrush, but I don't want to
that's what I wanted to say. That's another expression besides the wave. I want to get the toothbrush in there, David, but buddy, I appreciate you.
All of our products are lifetime warranted, including our bird feeders. Where do you find a bird feeder with a lifetime warranty?
I've got to. I want my wife to listen to this because I don't know who she's feeding better, the birds or me. You know, I mean, the birds are well fed, but I don't like feeding them squirrels. Okay,
you know, tough,
and not only squirrels. One of the big problems with seed waste is a bird with a big beak, like a grackle or a blue jay.
I got those.
Sit on your feeder. They'll rake out the seed they don't want to get the ones they do.
That's right. It's on the ground. It's all on the ground.
In 20 minutes. Well, we prevented that too. Our feeders have a food port that they have to pick the seed out of.
Oh man, I got to
rake it.
Save it, Dave. We're going to do another whole show on bird feeders. Okay, all right, buddy. All right, babe. We appreciate you, David Baynard, for all your support for Outdoors with Larry Ray. You have a great weekend, buddy, and we'll stay in touch. Okay.
Happy Independence Day upcoming, guys.
That's it, David. Thank you. All right, David Baynard. All right, let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. He's going to be a hard act to follow with Copley. Mark Copley's coming up next. I don't think he can top David Baynard. How about that, Cooksey? All right?
No, I'm with you.
All right, buddy. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. And if Mark Copley can top David Baynard, he's got a long way ahead of him because David was rolling out of Driftmaster and Black River Tools out of Manning, South Carolina. And I put Cooksey in there with it because I need an interpreter for this next guest. Right, Cooksey?
I tell you what, I was thinking about this next guest and his boats when I was on that kayak on Wednesday.
Well, you know, Mark Copley, first of all, we hope you had a great birthday earlier in the week.
I did.
There's not bad birthdays, you know, particularly when you get to be my age, and I hope you get to be my age, but the only scary thing is if you get to be my age, I'll be over 100. I'll be in here on a walker, still doing this show.
I hope you're here to celebrate with me.
Well, I do too. I don't know if I want to be there that age or not. But anyway, Mark Copley is joining us right now. Another one of those lucky people that jumped in the line on Monday when I said I need some guests. And I knew I had Bill Cooksey, and I knew me and Bill could do 90 minutes. But I don't know if I want to listen to me and Bill for 90 minutes.
I don't know if anybody would listen for 90 minutes.
Well, they wouldn't, but we'd still be here. I mean, some people don't think I'm even here now. I'm not all here, but this is David Beal is in as our co-host this Saturday morning, along with Bill Cooksey. And guys, Mark, again, appreciate your friendship over the years. He's still 901. You can't take it out of, even though he's in God's country now with express boats and out of Hot Springs. And is it hot in Hot Springs?
Good question, Larry.
We are living up to the name, let me tell you.
Well,
it is
the Ouachita
hot springs, hot air, hot water.
And the hot water. Do you have plenty of hot water? I know that.
Oh, yes.
Well, I guarantee you the water better on Ouachita, Lake Catherine, Lake Hamilton. You have so many choices to pick from. And, of course, Ouachita has so many memories for me growing up in central Arkansas as catching big fish and things on that line. But Bart jumped in line because I really thought, we're coming into July, we're coming into hot weather. We're talking about folks buying boats on Friday and going on the water on Saturday.
Absolutely.
And better be prepared. Right, Mark Copley? I mean, you've talked a lot about water safety. So I wanted to, as we go into July 4th holiday weekend, you're with Express Boats there in Hot Springs. Let's talk water safety a little bit here, Bill. I mean, Mark, because I know, and Cooksey, you too, and David too, there's going to be a lot of first-time boaters. You hope we're in an express boat. I know, Mark, but let's talk boating safety on July 4th and July 5th weekend.
Absolutely. Look, first and foremost, pay attention. That can save so much.
I like that. Yeah.
Just being aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
Watching out for that other guy. You can't control them, but you can control you.
Yes.
And
yeah.
Always wear your PFDs, whether it be an inflatable, a standard zip up, or even one of those lovely Coast Guard orange.
Yeah.
But, look, you can get another boat, but you can't get another person.
That's right.
And always protect yourself. And, I take it very personally if I'm captaining the boat, that I take good care of the people that are with me, and I make sure that they are safe. Where you're, if you're the driver, make sure you've got that safety switch attached to your PFD.
Yes.
Look, I've become a big proponent, especially since I love to bass fish and I love to watch tournament fishing. And this is not a product endorsement; it's a safety endorsement. But the leash that they're putting on these motors.
Yeah, you hear that, David?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen too many stories where people have been hurt seriously, have died.
Yeah.
It happened down at Santee Cooper.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Wes Logan, which I believe you had him on.
Yes. Yes. Uh-huh.
Wes Logan's life was saved up at St. Lawrence River.
That's right.
I think it was last year when he hit that submerged dock.
That's right.
And had it not been for that leash, Wes Logan would have not won that tournament at 10 killers.
He wouldn't have been on this show, I can tell you that. If he would, it would have been quite a story. But to think about this and to think about this coming weekend, next weekend, how many boats will be on the water, and we're talking about July heat and things along that line. And I know that you as a fisherman, David Beal, early and late and bugs and all this other kind of stuff, to me, July 4th is not the weekend to go fishing. I don't know.
Well, the thing is,
I know there's no weekend that you can't go fishing for you. Yeah.
Not for me, right?
That's right.
But the deal with that, Larry, and all our listeners, I wanna touch on that. It's really important because July 4th would not be the weekend to go fishing. However, we know that they're going to be fishing.
They're going to be fishing.
So with that being said, I want our listeners to know and everybody to know bass fishermen, competitive fishermen, recreation riders, boaters alike.
Yeah.
One of the things is, these recreation riders are going to get out there really early in the morning.
Yeah.
So I want our anglers to know that, the safety part of that is, blasting off, for these tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Man, it's going to really be critical because really, really, really pay attention in the morning. We might not have a fog delay this time of the year.
Yeah.
But we're going to have a lot of traffic out of different ramps, especially places like Pickwick, Bay Springs, these places with big bodies of water that have different ramps and landing areas.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of traffic coming out of those areas. And just want to make sure that y'all checking into times, making sure there's not 2 or 3 tournaments coming out that particular weekend, because that's going to be dangerous. We talking anywhere from 300 or 400 boats in one little area on these big waters.
And I know, Cooksey, you're Kentucky Lake. And so what's it going to be like on Kentucky Lake next weekend, Bill Cooksey?
Well, it'll be nuts.
It'll be nuts.
Fishing, but I'll probably have my boat out at daylight and fish for about 2 hours and then put it up.
Yeah.
And if we go out after that, it's the pontoon. But I'll say this: weekends like this are the time. If you've been thinking about fishing one of our rivers, like we mentioned the Hatchie earlier, or some of the TWRA lakes and these places where you don't have all the water skiing and water sports going on, there's no weekend like this one to go do that.
Yeah.
That's a good point, too.
And I know that, Mark Copley, you agree with that, don't you?
Absolutely, 100%. Larry, you were talking about the lakes that surround us here in Hot Springs.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of those smaller Arkansas Game and Fish lakes that as well.
Yeah.
Where you can go out and fish, and more than likely you're not going to have a lot of competition out there simply because it's a time to enjoy family and be thankful, for our freedoms that we have here in this great country. And so there's opportunities to go fishing. Just be safe.
Be safe.
Look,
because we know
I used to be one of those guys who wouldn't wear a life jacket once I got up and fishing.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
No.
Not anymore.
That's right.
And you better zip it up. I mean, I know I have experienced not zipping up a life jacket one time with an unknown bass angler I will talk about, but he was
unknown.
Yeah, he was two coves away from me when I realized my life jacket wasn't on me anymore.
Oh, Lord.
And we had unknown angler. He'll still probably doing the same thing, but I'm just telling you, life jackets improved so much. You know this, Mark.
And here's a little tip for people.
What?
If you go to take off real quick and all of a sudden your motor stops, more than likely you didn't zip up your life jacket.
That's right.
It's sitting on and it blew out and it pulled that cord.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. I hadn't thought about that.
I may or may not have some experience with that.
I'm not going to ask you about that, but I know with your area being around the hot springs that I've already mentioned, Catherine, Hamilton, and Ouachita, they're all three so different. And I can tell you, my wife broke her leg on Ouachita. It was Catherine on a fishing trip, and had nothing to do with the boat. She tripped over a railroad tie.
Oh wow!
And I'll never forget that because I had injured my back on the White River catching big old trout. And then we were down, but we spent quite a time there in the hospital in Hot Springs. But we know. And we got a couple of minutes here. So in the industry, tell us what you got anything going on, what we need to know about? What's going on at your folks?
Well, we have this little thing that comes up every year here for our company called Dealer Meeting.
Yes.
That's the very beginning of August, and it's where we will be announcing our new models to our dealer network.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the fishing industry. We announce, in 2025, our model year, 2026, and they will start becoming available a little bit later this year, kind of like the fishing industry with ICAST. But you'll start to see content coming out through our social media and website and other digital channels that we use of the new product. I mean, we've got some really cool stuff. One, I'll go ahead and talk about.
What? You got 2 minutes.
The XR21.
That's it.
Which is our new tournament style boat that our three elite anglers have been running this year. And
XR21, right?
The XR21. It is some different things that we've done to the hull. We've extended the transom. This boat has consistently run 72 miles an hour with a tournament load and 2 anglers in it, and that's been reported. Matter of fact, Wes Logan's the one who called me and told me that he tried to pass Lee Livesey and he couldn't, and that's how fast they were going.
Oh, my gosh. All right, so
it's a great boat, great layout.
And that'll be coming out later in the fall? Is that going to come out?
Later in this fall. Mm-hmm.
All right, now
a lot of cool colors coming in.
All right, give us that website, Mark. We got to go. Give him that website.
Absolutely. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and even TikTok. Our website is www, as if people didn't already know that, expressboats.com, and Express starts with an X.
There you go. Remember that X marks a spot. And
X marks the spot.
And that marks a spot for Mark Copley. He's now another year older, and Well, I'm not going to go past that, but
Hey, I'm enjoying the senior citizen discount, though, Larry.
I hope you do. I hope you do. But he'll always be 901, folks. Mark Copley, thank you, buddy. Have a great weekend. We'll talk again. Appreciate you, man. All right?
Thanks, everyone. Y'all have a great weekend, too.
All right, let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray, and we're going to talk about high school bass fishing. And they just had a big one up in, I'm not going to tell you what it was. I'll let this next guy tell us about that. So let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this last Saturday in June of 2025. It's just unbelievable how fast the time goes when you're getting old, right? And that's why I run around with young folks like David Beal and Bill Cooksey the 15th.
That's right.
It is. Yes, they make me feel young. That's when I get around to them. But and of course, I've watched Cooksey grow up, and proud of him, and good to know David here now is our new fishing guru. But we're still trying to hook up with Scott Ellison. He is the membership service manager for Major League Fishing in Benton, Kentucky. Haven't been able to get Scott yet, but had a big event recently on what they said in the press release, and Cooksey didn't hesitate, but they call it the South Great Lake, Kentucky Lake. So we'll continue to do that. But let's get back to some other things going on. Let's have a quick fishing report. I know it's hot, so I have plenty of coolant.
Yes.
Water.
Yes.
Yeah, everything like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the thing is, before we get there, Larry, I wanted to touch on
what? We
was talking about the boaters, right?
Yes.
Let's go back to the beginners. I wanted the listeners to hear something about beginner boaters. For the beginner boaters.
And there'll be some out there this weekend.
Oh, my God. It's going to be tons of beginners.
Yeah.
Whether it be jet skis, whether it be, pontoon boaters or bass boaters, but they are beginners. And
kayaks?
What I mean by beginners, kayaks.
A lot of kayak people.
Beginners.
Not Bill Cooksey, but a lot of kayak people.
Not you, Cooksey.
All right. If you listen early in the show, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
So go ahead. Now.
And so what I want the listeners to understand, and all you beginners out there, don't have so much pride to where you can't ask somebody.
There you go.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Where you can't ask somebody how to launch a boat. Ask somebody what all I need as far as first aids and and flotation devices and what are some emergency things that I need on my boat. Beginners, don't be afraid to do that. Don't have so much pride and arrogance that you make a mistake, and a lot of times that's where these bad accidents happen.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
I can remember when I was a beginner, I asked a lot of questions, and that's how I became a good boater so quickly. Didn't have a lot of pride.
Yeah.
Had just a little bit because I thought I was a great fisherman, but so I just wanted to put that out there, Larry, so the beginners can understand, it's not a shameful thing to ask questions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? About the experience, to the experienced boaters. It's like asking your granddad. Hey, granddad, what I supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
And it saves lives before you ever get to the water. Good. And that's very important.
Good words of wisdom.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
David, I would much rather a fella or lady, if they're having just a little bit of trouble backing a boat and aren't experienced, ask me. I'll come over and help you out, either walk down with you or back it in for you.
Done that before, buddy.
Yes.
I'm the worst backer-upper there ever was invented. Yeah.
Is that even a word?
Yeah, it is, because I would come home with my four-wheeler and I'd have the neighbors get out in their lawn chairs and watch me back that four-wheeler into my carport, And then
look, there's never been a man or woman born knowing how to back up a trailer.
That's right.
Yeah, particularly with your four-wheeler back there. Now, if it wasn't back there, I might be able to do it. But, okay, we got some good words there.
All right.
Give me a quick fishing report, because Cooksy's got something we need to talk about.
All right, Cooksey, let me get this.
It's hot. I know it's hot.
It's hot. Quick fishing report. So I want y'all to, you crappie anglers, I want you to go out there and fish with jig tips with minnows.
Yes.
Blue and white. You know what I'm saying? Pink head with white skirts. For you bass fishermen, go out there
Yeah.
with big worms, top waters, and crankbaits.
Yes.
For you catfishers, night crawlers, chicken livers, and shrimp. And for you brim fishermen, crickets, wax worms, and red worms.
Okay.
And do not leave out night fishing. I noticed he was talking about night fishing up there earlier.
Yeah.
About the little glowing rods and stuff. But
Yeah.
don't leave out the night fishing. Right now, this day and time,
Yeah.
and the way this heat is, night fishing is prominent. You know, it gets good. I mean, on all species now.
Okay.
You know, don't just think it's just catfishing.
All right.
But this is all species. And I will leave it at that for now.
All right.
We'll
That's from David Beal. We appreciate David sitting in with us. But there's been so much going on locally, statewide, and things like that. And, you know, we've talked about the license fee increase being shut down back in mid-June. And, Bill, there's some other things going on. Update us.
There are. I mean, hey, some local things that are going on in Congress right now. Appropriations is looking at some more funding for carp, Asian carp research and prevention. So, you know, that's something we want our Tennessee folks to get behind because, let's face it, we need all the help we can get on that.
Yes.
But one that's scary right now that's in the big, beautiful bill put in there by Senator Lee from out west is he put it in reconciliation, a deal to sell off a lot of federal land, several million acres, and they don't tell you what land. They just say, you know, 2 to 3 million acres out of over 100 million to choose from, and it would be a forced sale. Not to say that there's not federal land that could probably be sold or swapped and everyone would be better off, but not this way, and there's a process in place to do it. Now, he first backed off of that because so many sportsmen and NGOs, you know, Safari Club and all of them came out against it, and he changed it and moderated it a little bit and thought that would probably work. That didn't make anyone happier, and the Senate parliamentarian threw it out, said that won't work with reconciliation.
Oh, okay.
So he's now amended again. I have not seen the details, but it's still trying to force the sale of our public lands. And we're talking 11 states out west, so that doesn't necessarily affect most of us here, but it's a slippery slope because it's never been done, never been allowed.
Yeah.
And again, there's a legal process in place. So, folks, if you have the time and inclination and care just a little bit, if you send out off an email to your senators, I mean, here in Tennessee, it's Marsha Blackburn and Senator Haggerty, and send an email, let them know, and tell them you support the CARP funding too, if that's the way you feel. But we need to kill this thing because who knows? Next time it could be a Congress forcing the sale of TVA property, or there's not necessarily a limit if you start allowing them to do it through this mechanism in Congress.
And also, the longer you wait, the harder it gets.
That's correct.
Right.
We don't need less public land.
No, that's for sure.
No, you need more of that. That's for sure, Cooks.
As much as you can. And, of course, it's hard to think about that in late June or July, but now's when everything happens. I mean,
they're in Congress in session right now, and that's when everything's going down. So this is the only time we have to make our voices heard outside of at the ballot box, and the ballot box is over for a year. So
that's right.
It's time to write emails or make a phone call, let your friends know, and it's not hard to do, I promise, and it matters.
Well, again, we've got Bill Cooksey on the line with us with the Tennessee Wildlife Federation, and Bill has been a longtime friend of us, and we mentioned earlier, let me get this cough drop in my mouth before I turn it over to my new co-host, because this weather is a killer, folks.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Have I ever done that on the radio before, Chubby? I think I have. One other time? Okay, one other time. But I'm better now. When I sneeze, my record is 17 sneezes. I've been legally dead twice.
Sneezes.
Yeah, I've been legally dead twice because I understand, and I know there's a lot of doctors that listen to this and turn me off, but I understand that the only time your heart stops is when you sneeze.
Right. That's what they say.
Yes. Well, thank you. That's
right.
Mr.
Beal
over there. But So I'm dead again. But when we talk to Bill about this, and we need to stay atop of the functions. We talked earlier in the show, folks, and if you did not hear about the license fee being canceled, postponed, whatever you want to call it, and everything stays the same come July. What is our license?
Except boat registration.
Yeah, that's what I was just getting ready. Except boat registrations. But everything, what is it? July 1st, right? Is that normally the So when that thing was decided to postpone, cancel, whatever you want to call it, the license fee increase, that was just 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so all the people that had been planning for what they were going to do with the money, and at the same time people who were wondering what to do with their license, hey, you got to get new license coming up, folks. I mean, you got to renew them.
That's right.
At the standard stuff, of course, I have a lifetime license that I bought long time ago when I was actually semi-young. I've never been semi-young, but it's one of the best investments you could ever get in that time. I got it from a granddaughter also when she was 2, I think it was. Mm-hmm. But just go to tnwildlife.org, see what these guys are doing and all. Bill, they worked on that thing for 2 years. I mean, Bill, I don't remember how long it worked on that.
Well, they brought it forward publicly back in December.
That's it, yeah, in December. Yeah,
at the commission meeting.
Yeah, but they've been working on it long before that. I mean,
they didn't start that morning.
They didn't. No,
because it was very detailed. And there's a whole lot that goes into it. And look, we are putting together we have a site set up for people who are interested. They can subscribe and get all the updates on funding.
Yeah.
On wildlife funding. You can get it at tnwf.org. Just sign up for that, and you'll get all the updates as this discussion moves forward. So you'll know what's coming, and if there's something you want to chime in on, all the information will be there to do it.
Well, that's good. So it's just so confusing right now. A lot of folks just caught off guard, and I appreciate go to LarryRay.com. That's my website with Guy Trebo, my webmaster. We've got all this posted up there, what the press releases said and everything like that. And, of course, all of this show is always on LarryRay.com. Thanks to Shelby McCall as she gets it out to all of us. So let's take our next break, and we're going to talk BB guns on this next segment.
I can't imagine who that's with.
You ever had a BB gun?
Sounds great.
Bill Cooksey?
Oh.
You remember your first one, Bill?
I do very well. Red Ryder.
That's it. And I don't know how many I've had since then. I don't know how many we've given away thanks to this next guest, Lawrence Taylor of Daisy Rifles in Rogers, Arkansas. So let's take a break. Be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. I don't know how many times I've said that as we roll into our 25th year on the air. Of course, I started when I was 6, and if you believe that, you know that I'm not anywhere near that. But I'm on my 3rd cough drop and trying to stay vertical here. As we talk outdoors, and probably the most unusual show I've ever put together, because on Monday I didn't have a guest because 4 people dropped out, and I said, well, I'm just going to have open show, and I had these next guests roll out and said they would be glad to step in, and one of those is a longtime friend. I've watched his kids grow up with the Alma, and what are they, the Airedales? I think that's what
right. There's only one Airedale.
There's only one Airedale, and that's in Alma, Arkansas. And that voice you hear is, of course, Lawrence Taylor. He is the PR and social media director for our good friends at Daisy Rifles in Rogers, Arkansas. Good Saturday morning, Lawrence. And I know that big deals are coming in, and as I told you, I do have my main interpreter for any big words you might use, and I'm not talking about David Beal over here. He's my man. That's Mr. Cooksey. Bill Cooksey, in case you, I think you go back a few years with Lawrence. So
a few.
A few.
Oh, yeah.
And we probably tell a lot of stories, but we don't have time. But LT, I know that something big's getting ready to happen this coming Sunday, tomorrow, and next week in Rogers. Tell us what's going on up there.
Yeah, we're going with the 58th annual Daisy Nationals. This is the national championship of BB gun shooting. We have teams of 7 kids, ages 8 to 15, that will come in from across the country. We have teams coming from Oregon, coming from Virginia.
Wow.
We've got, I believe, 73 teams coming in this year. It's a 5-meter BB gun shooting match, and they shoot in 4 positions: standing, kneeling, sitting, and prone.
Yeah.
They take a test, a safety test. It's basically 4 days of just fun for the kids with the shooting match thrown in.
So how do they qualify to come to Rogers?
Well, these teams usually grow out of the 4-H shooting sports program,
okay,
or sometimes American Legion, used to be Rotary, and some gun clubs. They'll put together a team, and that team has to go through our curriculum, which is a 10-hour course.
It is, yeah.
They have to take before they ever touch a BB gun, and then they start practicing. And each one of these states has a state-sponsored or state-sanctioned state contest, and if they make first, second, or third in their state contest, they get an invitation to come to Rogers to go for the national championship.
And how many kids again? How many?
Oh, we got like 73 teams, I think, this year.
Wow.
And also we have a 10-meter air gun match going on at the same time. It's a big event. We do it here at the Rogers Convention Center and Embassy Suites, and they always host us very well. We have a night of trading stuff that the kids bring from their region, and they trade with each other. We have a big party at the end. It's a blast, and a lot of people just bank on having their summer vacation at the Daisy Nationals.
So they qualify? Do they have other events that gets them there? Or
yes, states will have their contests, and then they'll have an officially sanctioned, usually sanctioned by the NRA, a match. And if they get first, second, or third, they get an invitation to the Daisy Nationals.
I don't remember in the Christmas story they ever qualifying for the Nationals.
No. No, but everyone does wear shooting glasses, so we're safe.
LT, are there any limitations on the air rifle they're shooting, or everyone shoot the same thing?
Yes, they all shoot our 499B, which is billed as the most accurate 5-meter BB gun in the world. It's not a Red Ryder. It's a single shot muzzle loading. You drop the BB down the. Of course, they don't even use BBs. They use ball bearings.
They use ball bearings.
Super tight tolerances, so they're all the same. And, man, you should see these kids. They're so much better than I am. They'll take 10 shots in standing and hit 4 or 5 bullseyes, which the bullseye is the size of a BB.
Yes.
It's incredible. These kids are really talented.
And this is probably a big event for Rogers. I mean, this is, I'm sure, economically a big event. And at the same time, these kids have a chance to be on the national stage.
That's right. And it is a big event for Rogers. And I got to thank the Chamber of Commerce here who helps us out with it and covers some of the costs for hotel and other things. So we cooperate with Rogers, and we really do put Rogers, Arkansas, on the map for a week.
Well, if you haven't been to Rogers and been to the museum, whatever it might be, and you think about this, so you've been making Daisy rifles for, I know, over 100 years, right? I mean,
yes. Started in 1885.
1885, right before I started this radio show. We were typing it out.
Your third year.
Yeah, that's right. We were just starting on this, but who hasn't, Bill, I asked Bill if he remembers his first, and he jumped right out and said that your first Daisy, Bill. What you were how old, you think?
I was 5 years old when I got a Daisy Red Ryder, which is the original bird feeder squirrel deterrent.
That's it. Yes,
there you go.
I've thought about that on my squirrel problem with my bird feeders, and I was waiting for David Baynard to say that. No, he didn't want. He wants me to buy a feeder, to get rid of these squirrels. But no, you were 5. I think I was probably. Let's see. I got mine when I was 10. I finally got it back when I was 13, I think.
We teach more lessons in public schools.
No, I didn't lose this one. I had it taken away from me when it bounced around my room, with two cousins in there with me. But it all looked fun, But I was so proud.
That's not too bad a deal. I had a neighbor when I was 6 bet me I couldn't hit him.
Oh, come on.
Oh, my goodness.
I was a bad shot and couldn't hit him, so I proved him wrong, and my dad didn't appreciate it.
Well, I don't remember any neighbors that wanted me to let me do that, but I think
my dad hurt me worse than I hurt that boy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when they took my gun away from me, and I said, well, I'm never going to get it back. She said, when you get to be a teenager, you'll be able to understand.
That's right.
Well, I got to be a teenager, but I didn't hit anybody after that, But, again, we're talking to Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence, how long have you been with Daisy now?
I've been with Daisy for about 8 years now.
Yeah, and the story here, we just said they've been over 100, maybe 125 years. What you said, the 1880s, right? I mean,
1885.
1885.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
There is a story that I got to repeat again, folks, and you all wonder, how did that get to be Daisy? It's not Daisy the cow or anything like that, The story I've heard, let me hear what you say. How did we get to be Daisy?
Well, it started out as Plymouth Iron Windmill Company.
That's not good. No, that wouldn't have worked.
Back out in the early 1800s, and they made a great iron windmill, but there was no advertising available then. I mean, people they'd take this huge windmill and put it in a cart and put 2 mules in front of it and go out and try to sell it.
Yes.
The business went pretty bad, and they were getting ready to close down shop.
Yeah.
And the day of the vote, actually Clarence Hamilton, who was the gentleman who invented the original iron BB gun, brought it into our CEO, and he shot that BB gun into a metal wastebasket, and he said, "Boy, that's a Daisy." So that's how the name came about, and then they started giving away the BB guns when someone would buy a windmill. Okay. Well, then more people wanted the BB guns than wanted the windmill. So it didn't take long
of course
to drop making the windmill and start making BB guns.
So it wasn't like Dave Thomas and Wendy's. So it's not named after Mr. Hamilton's the daughter or anything. No. Okay. No. There's so many rumors about that. So Daisy rifles are where? Everywhere, right? I mean,
they're everywhere. Yeah, that's right. Walmart.
I'm talking about worldwide. People with them.
Yeah.
Worldwide. And you get comments and people come up there to see this. And now, how many variations from the very start do we have?
We have books that have been written showing all the different variations and all the different models that we have made throughout the years. Once it turned into about 1910, 1915, we really started pushing out a bunch of different models.
And I read where, and I'm really versed on this, but 80% of people who describe themselves as outdoorsmen started their shooting careers with a BB gun, and that more than 80% of those started with a Daisy.
That's right.
Wow, that's pretty
right.
cool.
We had that study commissioned about 8-9 years ago.
Well, I don't know who's giving away more Daisy rifles than Lawrence Taylor. We have given them away. Pink, they're now pink. I got you. Got 2 minutes here. I always wonder if she's saying victory or telling me to get out of here. But Lawrence, thank you, buddy, for your friendship. It's great to see you kids grow up and everything on Facebook, but continue to stay in touch. You're one of my best, buddy. Always appreciate you.
You too, Larry, and everybody else there. Thank you for having me.
All right. Tell them how they get the information now. What's that website again? I wonder what it is.
You go to daisy.com for the BB guns, and we have a new website, daisynationals.com, for information on the event.
All right, buddy. We'll stay in touch. Have a great weekend. Good fortune next week, too, Lawrence. Okay, buddy?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Larry.
All right, let's take a break, come right back, and close this baby out today on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray as we wrap up another radio show as we roll toward 25 years on the air. As part of a lot of this in the past several years as a member of the Odyssey family of radio stations right here. This has been a fun show. I appreciate David Beal sitting in the studio with us on emergency call, and always appreciate having Bill Cooksey on the line with us and explaining. I'm not sure Don King can explain this. What happened on June the 18th when we were all ready for new license fees and we didn't get them. So we have tried to explain that, and we're not going to make Don explain anything because he is the voice of the TWRA. Not only that, but he's my music man when it comes. He's not Harold Hill, not the original music man, but he is part of the music family that I've kept up with so these many years, and I think it's more than 20. I know that, but he is Don King, the TWRA Multimedia Development Division. I think you can't get that on a T-shirt, so I'm not sure what his title might be, but you know him when he starts talking, huh? What, Don?
Good Saturday morning to you, Larry.
You recognize that voice not only from the TWRA, but our theme song that he came up to in the shower one night when he couldn't think of anything else, but was one of those people that they always said, Larry, you got too long a theme song. You tell that to Don King. I ain't telling him about that. I'm playing it all, But anyway, Don, appreciate you. And this is kind of a tease show as we wrap up this show on this final Saturday in June.
Hey, Don, 3 weeks from now,
yes,
we'll be face-to-face, right?
Don will be in studio, and I've already told Shelby McCall to bring her trumpet.
Okay,
and
good,
we'll make
good.
music. Hey, maybe we might even get Hoot Hazelgrove with his saxophone in here, and we'll make some music.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, that might be too much. I don't know, but thank you, Don. And I was looking at some of these stuff. How many years now is it, TWRA?
Well, gosh, I've been full-time for about 24 years this year, but I wish I could count all the ones back to 1975. It's been 50 years, believe it or not, Larry, since I started doing the radio PSAs.
Wow, wow.
Stuff like, hey, this is Don King for your Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Don't forget to put the plug in your boat before you launch it this spring.
Did you recognize that, Bill Cooksey? I mean,
the way you say "your,"
yes,
it stands out anywhere. I could be in California and hear it and say, "That's Don King."
Well, that's because he's talking Nebraska to us. I mean, he's.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I got some of that Nebraska hanging in there, and I've always felt like your Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency was the way to put it, because we're here for as an agency here for the hunters and fishermen and the folks that love the outdoors in Tennessee, and it's theirs. It's possession.
Well, you and Jason Harmon, what a team on the Wildcast. That's been a winning combination. You guys clicked on it. I guess that's my goal before I kick the bucket. Maybe I'll get on that sometime, and I won't wear any makeup if I come, okay? But I might wear my blonde wig. I don't know. I might do that if I could for Jimmy Houston. But you guys have made a hit out of that show. Communications has changed so much, Don.
Oh, it sure has.
Let's don't go back 50 years. Let's go back 24 and just look at that and where we've gone and what it means. I mean, PR, I understand social media 24 years ago, they say, what? Social media? What's he giving parties or something? You know, I mean.
Right.
So talk about how important that is to the agency, though.
It really is. You know, over the years, like as you mentioned, Larry, 24 years ago when I first started, we had one wireless microphone at a commission meeting.
One.
And that began by the chairman calling the meeting to order.
Yes.
With that wireless microphone. And then if somebody had something to say or contribute, the microphone was passed left or right down the line of commissioners to the person who wanted to speak. And that way they spoke on it, and then they passed it back to the chairperson. And so anyway,
it wasn't live either. I mean,
no, it wasn't live, and we started streaming the meeting so
yes.
you can watch them exactly live as it happens now. And that's been going on for I guess maybe 6 or 7 years, something like that. But anyway, we continue that, and
well, now we know if any of the commissioners are sleeping. I mean, we have the cameras. I can tell you one that did sleep back in the days, and I'm not going to mention him because he's one of my all-time favorite guys. And I've sat in those commission meetings, and the way you guys organize, it's not the easiest thing to put on. I mean,
Yep, you're right.
Talk about just getting ready to this era we have. Now, you do the Wildcast. When do you do that? When is that?
We do that kind of sporadically. We line up a guest or two to come in our studio here at the agency, kind of our man cave, the one that you normally see. But then, and we try to accommodate the guest.
Yes.
If they're in-house, a lot, it's during business hours most of the time.
A
biologist or a chief of a division or something like that. But we have a lot of folks from the outside, so to speak, that have really interesting stuff to talk about regarding the outdoors that we kind of cater to and invite them in. And, it's kind of a big family deal. And then
I like that.
We're able to carry this thing on the road, too. So we've got a little generator we take along with us, and
good.
It runs the whole shooting match.
Yeah.
So we set up where 4 cameras and can virtually go anywhere, a creek bank or whatever, and shoot a wildcast. So it's been a blessing for us, and people have really embraced it, and we're just so thankful for that.
Well, I think when you look at it, and we know how communications is so important now, through letting the public know, just like me and Cooksey were keeping up with certain things, then all of a sudden somebody snuck up and did something else we weren't ready for. But it may happen like that occasionally, but you guys try to stay on top of it. And the cool thing about this, Don, you got 2 lives here. I mean, I know your life with the TWRA, but your life with music. And I can't have Don King on without mentioning music, because that's part of his life, part of his background, even to this day. So, when I start looking at things and I look back and I see Epic Records and albums and toured in the United States, Europe, and Australia, then I see Con Brio Records, and you toured with the country as a solo artist. And you've toured with Loretta Lynn, Conway Twitty, and you also has written songs that somebody Reba somebody, I can't remember.
Yeah. That I like those one-word artists when they cut your songs. So, like Reba.
So talk about that. Stand out. Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite?
Well, gosh, dating back to when I first started, I was able to and blessed to go out and open shows for Conway Twitty and Loretta Lynn, sometimes separately, and sometimes they played a lot of concerts together. So, I would, come out as a solo and kind of warm up the crowd and do whatever it was, whatever record I had out at the time, and they always had great audiences. And similarly, when I put a band together, I was able to go out with a lot of the artists as well. like the Oak Ridge boys were really hot at the time. Alabama, and Oaks. Their audiences were always on 10. They were always so exciting, and it was fun to play for those folks. And gosh, we did a West Coast tour with I can see her.
It's been too long ago, Don. How old were you?
Loretta Lynn's sister.
Yeah, Crystal Gale.
Crystal, thank you, Larry.
That's what I'm here for. Yeah, that's what I'm here
for. Major block there.
That's okay. Yeah.
I was seeing her pretty face and hair, and I thought, oh gosh,
that's it.
But anyway, we did a
that's what I'm here for
with her. And
how old were you?
I was back then. I guess I was about 26, 27 years old. So I've kind of lived my life in 25-year blocks. I'm noticing.
Yes.
Because the first 25 years after moving to Nashville from Nebraska to do music, I was able to do music full time, and as you mentioned, tour and have a bus and a band, and go to Australia and Europe, and meet a lot of great folks. And music has opened so many doors in my life, and including the one that I'm inside right now at the agency. If it weren't for music, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing here.
And you're still doing music too.
Yeah, still playing on the weekends. And
tell them what your group is.
Yeah, it's the Road Crew.
The Road Crew.
You can look us up at Road Crew 66.
That's
like
it.
Route66.com. Roadcrew66.com.
It's almost like you're a regular Leaper's Fork. I mean, what is that?
Yeah, that's right. We play the old Puckett's, now called Fox and Lock. We play there pretty regularly. As a matter of fact, we're
What's the next gig? What's the next gig?
The 5th of July.
Next Saturday. All right.
Yes.
Next Saturday at Puckett's.
At Leaper's Fork in
Leaper's Fork. Okay.
Fox and Lock. Yeah.
Well, just check him out, and we're going to talk to Don when he comes back in July. We'll do a lot of picking and grinning, and might get him to do what we always do, the Roadkill Bill. Everybody loves that.
Yeah.
We have to do that. We'll work on the words. I'm trying to get Crystal Gale, but she said he doesn't remember me, so she's not going to be here in July. But
I'll never live that one.
No,
down.
I got you now. Got you that. I had it all written down here and everything. But Don, appreciate your friendship, buddy. Appreciate everything you guys do for us. Go to tnwildlife.org. You can't find Don, but you'll find a lot of stuff about the TWRA and the great folks and the commissioners and everything else. Don, have a great weekend. See you in July. Okay, buddy?
I'll see you in 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Thank
Okay.
you. All right.
Bye.
Don King, not one of the real hair, but
right,
the other one.
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah, he has a lot of trouble with that. Let me tell you, next week, first Saturday, that means Gene Smith, the pun master, will be with us, along with Dave Gabbert, just back from Alaska, and I'm sure he's going to have a lot of stuff to talk to us about. Bill Cooksey, any closing words?
Man, I just appreciate David reminding me about night fishing. I just don't even think, and it's one of the greatest times to fish this time of year. So I'm inspired. I may go put my boat in here in about 2 hours.
Take you some bug spray and go. David, thank you, buddy, for being with us, and take it easy out there on the water.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on the second Saturday. Normally David will be with us on the second Saturday. He'll be back, and sometimes we're gonna ship him in here too.
That's right.
When he's got time and everything. Shelby McCall, thank you. This is Larry Ray reminding you to do each and every week. It doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. What else, guys? God bless the USA.